Imagine waking up tomorrow knowing you will never die. You won't age, you won't get sick. There will be no end. No matter how hard you push your body, how recklessly you live, you will never die. What would you do with infinite time? Welcome to Alpha Grid. Today, we're diving into one of the boldest and oldest questions in human history. What if humanity lived forever? Not in myths, not in dreams, but through science, technology, or sheer willpower. What would immortality do to us? How would we live? How would we think? And how would we feel? Let's explore how eternal life could reshape everything we know and everything we are. First, the mind. If death disappears, so does urgency. Deadlines fade, pressure evaporates. Would ambition vanish too? What's the point of striving if there's no end in sight? Or would we become limitless learners, masters of 100 trades? If you had eternity, would you learn every language, climb every mountain, master every skill? Would you finally have time to heal your wounds, all of them? Mental, emotional, generational. But here's the twist. Without loss, can we still value time? If nothing ends, do experiences lose their weight? Then society. Let's say immortality becomes real. But like all things, it comes at a cost. At first, only the rich can afford it. The powerful would never step down. Leaders, CEOs, monarchs, ruling not for decades, but centuries. Power would fossilize, inequality would harden like stone. Imagine a world where the oldest minds keep making decisions for generations they can no longer understand. What happens to democracy when no one retires, no one dies, and the new never replace the old? In such a world, birth may be regulated. Some governments might restrict procreation to avoid overpopulation. Would children become rare? Would they be seen as burdens or sacred? A society without death may fear the new more than the end. Now, the economy, retirement would vanish. So would pensions, inheritance, and maybe even generational wealth. Careers would stretch across centuries. But how does an economy grow when no one leaves their job? Will young minds have any room to rise? Would creativity stagnate as immortal elites recycle the same ideas for decades? Or perhaps new systems would emerge, micro-lives, timed careers, cyclical roles in society to balance stability and innovation. Could capitalism survive, or would it collapse under the weight of its own immortality? And finally, the self. What if we don't just live forever physically, but digitally? Imagine uploading your consciousness into an artificial body, a digital twin, a perfect copy. Your memories, your fears, your dreams. Would that still be you? Would we live inside machines or networks or even entire virtual worlds, escaping reality for eternity? What happens to love, grief, or nostalgia in such a space? Would pain still matter? Would joy? But not everyone would choose this path. Some might still crave the finality of death, not out of despair, but meaning. In a world where nothing ends, choosing to leave could become the boldest act of all. Maybe immortality wouldn't end suffering, only change its form. We would outlive friends, memories, even civilizations. So we must ask, do we really want to live forever? Or is it not death we fear, but the unknown? Immortality forces us to confront our deepest fears or even greatest hopes. Maybe it's not the end we should fear, but the absence of new beginnings. Thank you for watching. Until next time, stay curious,